And let's remember, AI will get stuff wrong. So you will have to interfere at that moment and make sure it gets it right so that the next time AI churns through the data, it doesn't make the same mistake. My name is Raj De Datta. I'm CEO and co-founder of Bloomreach, a leading AI company in the area of e-commerce and personalization. And what a time it's been for AI. We open our browsers, we look around, we see what's on the screen, and there's no escaping this topic. And it's not like AI is anything new, of course. We at Bloomreach have been using it for over 15 years. We have 20+ patents in this area. But there are seminal changes going on. It started, of course, with what we've seen with world-class GPUs, which then unlocked transformer models, which then unlocked large language models, literally the kind of models that could understand any kind of language. And then we've seen the explosion of ChatGPT and the endless possibilities that this step function in technology enables. And in that time, since OpenAI, we've seen everything. We've seen fear, we've seen uncertainty, we've seen excitement, we've seen exuberance, we've seen the beginning of a new wave, and we've seen a lot of questions be asked. Of course, we've seen quotes like this, that 95% of what marketers use agencies, strategists, and creative professionals for today will easily, nearly instantly, and at almost no cost be handled by AI. It's understandable that we might look at a quote like this and perhaps be a little scared and wonder exactly how to react to this unprecedented moment in time. But is it really that unprecedented? When I co-founded Bloomreach 15 years ago, we were about 10 years into this thing we call the commercial internet. And I feel like the cycle of the commercial internet looked a little bit like this: disruptive innovation, groundbreaking technology that led to large companies that led the way, companies like Intel and Cisco, where I spent some time, Oracle, and others. And then, of course, people started to build new applications, tried to sell everything online. Many of those applications crashed and burned. We saw the hype cycle. And out of that, we saw the emergence of Google, we saw the emergence of eBay, we saw the emergence of Amazon, all these world-class applications. And now we don't question this kind of technology being in the palm of our hand. Well, if I could frame it for you, in AI, we're back in 1996. We're back, except these large companies that are leading the way for us are companies like OpenAI and NVIDIA and Google that are releasing bigger and bigger foundational models. They are literally laying the highways for AI. And we're gonna see all kinds of hype cycles, all kinds of failures, all kinds of risks. And then we're gonna see the new possibilities. It's just hard to imagine what those new possibilities look like today, standing here as we are in 2024. Of course, the question we're here to answer is, what does that mean for all of our jobs? How can we predict that? Well, to start with, let's accept that for most of our lives, our imaginations have been ahead of the technology. We could imagine flying cars, self-driving cars, all kinds of innovative gadgets. Today, technology is actually ahead of our imaginations. We barely know what's going to come out of AI next month, never mind next year, never mind next 5 years, and never mind what that might do to the kind of jobs that all of us do. But I want to stand here and tell us that we should embrace that fear and we should channel it into curiosity. Because this kind of technology is for the curious. The internet, AI, while change is constant, learning opportunities are constant as well. We know that with every one of these AI marketing releases comes a new course that we can take. This is an era that rewards the explorers. AI is going to wholly transform the role of the marketer. If we approach that with curiosity, we'll find this is actually an incredibly hopeful story. So let's talk about that. Today, if we step to 2024 and ask ourselves what is going on with AI, we see things like this. This is the Shopify Copilot, where we can ask questions like, how do I set up a holiday sale? What kind of discount should I go about offering? In fact, these kinds of co-pilots are where we are today. They help us do our job more efficiently, and we'll certainly see that in marketing. We've already seen that in finance. We've seen that in software development. We're seeing these co-pilots everywhere. But what if I tell you to imagine a world where AI is not the co-pilot, AI is the pilot? It's actually driving the plane. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean we're going to do in the age where AI is the pilot? Well, if AI is the pilot, then we are the air traffic controllers. We are managing hundreds of AI pilots in the sky. We're making sure the planes land effectively. We're handling the weather. We're handling the unanticipated events. In fact, these planes certainly can't take off, can't land without us guiding them accordingly. We're managing our fleet of AI pilots. AI is flying the plane, but it certainly isn't going anywhere without us. So what might that analogy look like in marketing? Well, here's what we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to ask an AI pilot to do something like this. We need to achieve a 3% lift in customer retention. Let's create an omni-channel campaign, including copy and design for all channels, identify the segment of customers this campaign should target, and build out our workflows. Let's create multiple variants, let's do it in a GDPR-compliant way, and let's honor our brand guidelines. This is what we're going to be telling the AI to do. Amazing, exciting, and at hand. It's the kind of future that we at Bloomreach are building for marketing, and you're going to see it all around you across the technology landscape. But who wouldn't question their value when they see that this is what AI can do? When we don't have to go build scenarios and segments and run campaigns? Well, this is where fear needs to meet curiosity. Because as AI is churning away, we can start to imagine what our jobs might be, how marketing might change, how we might profoundly affect our brand and our customer. And let's remember that we've seen this before, because a lot of the jobs that we do today, whether we're in social media, or whether we're in paid search marketing, or whether we're handling Instagram or Pinterest, these were not channels that existed 20 years ago. These jobs literally did not exist at the dawn of the internet. And just as these jobs didn't exist, there will certainly be a new set of roles and responsibilities that will come forward. And I want to walk you through what that might mean, role by role, as we think about marketing. And let's start by recognizing what marketing really is. Marketing is fundamentally about understanding the customer and putting the most differentiated message out there to capture their attention in a way that drives key metrics for our brand. It requires deep creative thinking. And perhaps we see a return to that. So what might this mean? Let's start with the CMO. Well, at the CMO level, you will become the master of why. Why are we running this campaign? Why does our brand represent this? Why is our customer expressing him or herself in this way? You will become the person who understands why everything happens around us. And by being the master of why, you'll use that understanding to define what you want the marketing strategy to be. In the example of 3% lift, you'll know the key drivers of customer retention. Because without understanding the key drivers and programming the AI accordingly, there isn't going to be a way to achieve that kind of metric. So at a CMO level, it'll be all about the motivation. At the director level, you'll become the master of what. You'll build the roadmap. You'll try to think about exactly what the sequence of technologies we need to invest in order to achieve that roadmap. You'll lay out the strategy for implementation, the sequence of carefully planned steps. Do you run the promotion first, or do you run it second? Do you build the copy first? When you build the copy first, how many iterations of that copy do you need to have? You will become the master of what, taking the why from the CMO and translating that into the kind of reality that only you can create. And at the practitioner level, you will become the master of how. And so what do I mean by how? Well, sure, it looked great for us to press a button and have AI go about trying to drive 3% retention. But I can promise you that AI goes nowhere without the right training data, without the right guardrails, without tuning and fine-tuning the models. And so maybe you'll be generating prompts. Maybe you'll be tuning the models. Maybe you will be feeding it new data sets so that it can learn more effectively. And let's remember, AI will get stuff wrong. So you will have to interfere at that moment and make sure it gets it right so that the next time AI churns through the data, it doesn't make the same mistake. Together, your marketing team defines the why, the what, and the how that gives purpose and direction to your overall team. Does this sound a bit futuristic? Well, it's coming soon. This kind of semi-autonomous marketing is coming soon from us at Bloomreach and from perhaps many others. And it's so important that we embrace this kind of future and embrace it fully. Certainly, we may as well embrace it because it is coming. But we also need to embrace it because of the most important people in our lives, our own customers. And those customers, these consumers, the billions around us, their expectations are fundamentally changing. They have experienced ChatGPT. They know what they need to have around them in the consumer-facing experiences around them. And we at Bloomreach, we see what this means because we power so much of e-commerce globally for some of the best brands around. And we know with every click, with every purchase, with every failed browse event, there is some kind of expression. The consumer is speaking to us. And often, we see a lot of failed experiences online. In fact, while e-commerce is a booming industry, only 20% of shopping happens online. So what happens with the rest of the 80%? And why is it that only 20% of shopping happens online? Well, our perspective is that today's e-commerce is built for what we call the searcher. It's built for somebody who says, I want a size 12 pair of black Puma sneakers. And then you can go find those sneakers very easily online. That's what e-commerce is built for today. But of course, that's not what most of shopping is. If I was coming here to Germany and I wanted to understand exactly what jacket to go buy and what the temperature might be and what might be appropriate for this occasion and what might be comfortable, it would be exactly the kind of shopping event that would cause me to go to a store and talk to somebody. Because that kind of shopping is much more a conversation than it is a search-centric event that I can go type in. We call these types of shoppers seekers because they're seeking a solution to a problem. And seekers, well, seekers need guidance. They need expertise. They need the kind of experience that you get from your best store associate, not endless content and videos and blogs. Well, AI is making that possible. And it's making that possible through conversational commerce, giving businesses the ability to offer personalized experiences at scale like your best sales associate. Certainly, ChatGPT trained the consumer. Now the consumer is going to expect that from us. And world-class conversational commerce, well, it must mirror two critical components of the in-store experience. If you walk into a store and a store associate comes to you and says, would you like 20% off? Well, how do you know that I'm even shopping? Do you know what I'm even buying? That's actually kind of annoying. On the other hand, if I'm comparing two different garments and somebody comes up to me and says, would you like to understand the pros and cons of one versus the other? Well, that's helpful because that's understanding my context, where I am in the journey, and delivering a quality expertise in the moment. Well, we're going to see exactly that kind of conversational commerce enabled by AI. Not old school chatbots, but personalized interactive conversations of the type that we at Bloomreach are building and others I'm sure will bring to you as well. And this is the kind of shopping journey that's laced with images and video and multimodal and is super rich. And if this is what consumers are expecting, then it will be up to marketers to deliver on that. So let's step back to marketing jobs. What might that mean? Well, where are these conversations going to take place? They're going to take place on sites, on email, on SMS. All of a sudden, we're going to have a whole new world of conversational campaigns. So just as we are SMS managers or e-commerce managers or email managers, we might be conversational managers. We might be running these campaigns and ensuring that these conversations are exactly on point. And while AI will power these interactions, only we will be able to think about how they manifest fully on our behalf. And we're gonna see each of our personas play their role. The CMO is gonna understand the why behind the conversation, the director is gonna understand the what, and certainly the practitioner is gonna need to ensure that those conversations are on brand and trained with the data from our enterprises. But what all of that is gonna allow is relationships rather than transactions, because that's what marketing should be about. And it's gonna be the kind of relationships and the kind of thinking and the kind of feeling that only human beings possess, even in this digitally dominated era. Conversational commerce is gonna open up dozens of marketing roles. But really, we're only scratching the surface. I just gave you one example through conversational of how AI will change the consumer experience. Like that, there will be dozens. And out of those dozens will come a whole collection of roles that we can scarcely imagine today. In this age of AI, it's really easy to imagine what we're losing. Maybe we're losing the spreadsheets. Maybe we're losing the reporting. Maybe we're losing the specific campaign mechanics that we've been schooled to learn. But I'd rather we focus a little bit on what we're gaining. How much better might our life be if instead of loud speaking, we were doing a little more deep listening? How much better might it be if instead of broadcasting, we could have two-way conversations with our customers? How much more fulfilled might we be if in this age of AI, we embraced our own humanity and ultimately took that humanity, channeled it through our brand, and represented it truly? In my mind, that's a worthy trade-off. It enables us to be truly limitless. And I can't be more excited for us to embrace this age of AI as marketers. Thank you very much.